Hey, what's happening, guys? Today we're talking about 5 critical things that I learned in my 20s. Yes, today's video we were talking about 5 things that I learned in my 20s that I want to share with you guys. I just wish that I would have practiced these things sooner, so I feel like I need to share it with my audience, and maybe one of you, hopefully just one of you, can find use or value in this video. And if this does resonate with you, please go ahead and share this with someone you know, or maybe someone else who is struggling right now and they need a little bit of motivation and or advice in life. So present day, I am 34 years old, and I'm going to talk about the things that I learned in my 20s. The first one being that dreams require sacrifice. There are so many different kinds of sacrifices that come along with you actually succeeding in something that you love or are passionate about. But I think the most prominent one and the one that resonates with most people is social time. So present day, I am 34 years old, and in my 20s, I definitely did not sacrifice enough time going after the things that I loved. I definitely pursued some of the passions and hobbies that I had, but I didn't go all in. And I wish that I would have just gone all in when I was younger, because it would have set me up better for success in the future now. And that's why I want to share this with you guys, because, you know, me being 34 years old, I can look back into my 20s and I see visibly all of these things that I could have done better at, that I could have just made a little bit more effort then, and it would have set me up better for the future now. One of them being sacrifices and time. Time spent doing social activities, things that just weren't really contributing to my future success. So coming back to present day, I really don't spend a lot of time going out to bars or partying with friends or even going to dinner that often. I really kind of stick to myself unless it's like a special occasion or like once in a blue moon, and I put that person down in my schedule and I make sure that I have enough time to go ahead and do that. But if it's anything that's going to cut into my dreams or pursuits, I do not mess with it. And that's really why I felt like this was such an important thing to bring up, because, you know, if I do have any regrets, it would be that I just didn't go all in on some of the things that I loved back then, and I wish I would have just gone all in. Like right now, I go all in on the things I love. If I would have taken that mentality and applied that back in my 20s, I would be so much further along than I am now. So a lot of these things that I bring up today are things that I can talk about based on experience, because I've lived them, and yes, I am not perfect just like anyone else, so I've made mistakes. So I find those mistakes things that anyone else who is watching this channel or this video right now can learn from, and I feel like at this point in my life, I have much more focus and determination into the things that I want to pursue. So if you are listening, please decide where you want to be in 5 to 7 years. Decide who you want to be and where you want to be. And if anything that you're doing does not align with that, do not spend time doing it. You are wasting time when you are not going after the things that you absolutely love. Apply yourself. You don't need to be going out to bars and partying or going to clubs every Friday. You don't need to be going out to dinners every Friday, Saturday. You don't need to be socializing 5-6 times a week. But the point is, you guys have balance and moderation in everything you do. Like, obviously it's healthy to have friendships. It's healthy to see your friends and go out, go to dinner, do all those things, but make sure you stay focused on the things that you want in the future. Because if your friends are your real friends, they'll always be there, regardless of what you're doing, and they'll understand that you're trying to apply yourself to something greater for the future. And if they're real friends of yours, they're gonna support you in it. So I'm not telling you guys to kick all your friendships to the side. I'm just saying, put your passions into perspective and really go all in on them. Apply yourself. Find deep connection and love in what you're doing, because it's not only gonna help you be successful in the future, but it's also gonna make you happy. All right, number 2 is a solid morning routine. I cannot stress enough how important it is to have a good, solid, healthy, balanced morning routine. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about how my morning routine goes, and then you guys can kind of make up your own and apply your own morning routine to your life to better fit your situation. So the first thing that you do not want to do when you wake up is touch your phone. You do not want to be going on Instagram, Facebook, any social apps. You do not want to be touching any of that yet. And here's why. It immediately throws yourself into a situation where you're servicing other people. Other people immediately. Anyone who is emailing you, DMing you, Facebook, whatever, they typically need you for something. The other thing is, if you're going through Instagram and just digesting the content, you're likely comparing yourself. You don't realize you're doing it, but you're comparing yourself to what other people have or are showing on their profiles. And it's a really, really bad habit that so many people get caught into. It absolutely kills your creativity and productivity immediately. So the first thing that I do is not look at my phone. I make sure that I do not look at my phone. If you guys want to learn how to kind of get out of that process or get away from doing that, because we all do that. We all used to do it. Sometimes I still do it. It takes a lot of effort for me to not do it. But I started sleeping with my phone in the kitchen. I put my phone in the kitchen on the charger, and I do not have it near my bed. It makes it a lot easier for me to wake up and just kind of do my thing. The next thing that I like to do is move around. I actually like to do some stretching, some very basic yoga poses, just to kind of wake up and get the blood flowing and let the body loosen up. You just feel better. Typically after I do that, I will make some coffee and I'll just lay in bed and either listen to an Audible book or read. The two things that I like to do right when I wake up to kind of learn and digest. And that really helps project the day into a certain direction. A lot of times when I'm listening to books or reading books, I get really inspired and things start to spark. So it immediately brings creativity to my mind. After the coffee has hit me a little bit and I'm a little bit more awake, I'll start drinking more water, take all my vitamins, and then I immediately go to the gym. So some people like to work out in the evenings, which is totally fine. I just find that I get really energized after I'm at the gym, so I like to do it in the morning. I always have a really well-balanced day after I work out in the morning. Usually I do about 30 minutes of cardio and then I do some weightlifting, and after that I jump in the shower, get ready for the day, and I feel absolutely incredible. I think this is honestly overlooked. A lot of people don't really talk about how important it is to hit the gym first thing in the morning. If I have a day off where I'm actually not working out, I'll go outside and go for a walk or like a quick hike just to get in nature. Sometimes it's important to just get out of the house and get into nature. So after I do my workout and some basic emails, I really like to start working on things that are creative, whether it's editing videos or making videos. I just find that I'm really, really creative in the mornings. Everyone's mind and personality works differently, so you really need to find what works well for you. Everyone's morning routine is gonna be a different rendition. I'm just sharing the things that work for me, and you guys can take it and apply it to your own lifestyle and maybe change some things up so it works better for you. But those are the basic outlines. All right, the next one, number 3, is a battle board. And what do I mean by a battle board? I call it a battle board, but it's really a whiteboard. So these are really important. I have like 3 of them. I have one in my bedroom, one in my living room, and one in my garage. And the battle board, your whiteboard, is where you should be writing down everything that you want in life, all of your goals, how you're gonna get to those goals, your numbers, the things that you're currently working on. I write down every single video idea that I have on my whiteboard. But not only do I write down the video idea, I write down when I'm going to record it. And this is really important. I used to put the ideas in my phone, and they would all just stack up. So what would happen is I wouldn't see those video ideas daily. There's nothing reminding me that, hey, you gotta record this video. Hey, remember, we gotta get this done. So when I wake up in the morning and I go to the board and I see, okay, today's the day where I have to record the 5 things that I learned in my 20s video, I prepare for it. I start mentally preparing for that video, how I'm gonna go into it, how I'm gonna record it. I just find that having a battle board and having things out in front of you and just being able to physically check off each thing when you do it, it really, really does work. And also like long-term goals. Like I put really big, like 5, 10-year goals onto the whiteboard so I can see that every day to remind me this is why you're doing this. It helps keep your head in the game. It's honestly one of the most simple things that you can do. Just go on Amazon and buy a whiteboard, but it deems some of the biggest results for us. And I highly, highly suggest that you guys just get yourself a whiteboard and start writing stuff down. It doesn't really have to be the same things that I'm writing down, but as long as you can write down some things like what you want to do and like your goals and kind of how you're going to get there and start plotting stuff out, you'll find that over time that whiteboard, it starts to change. The things that you actually write down on the whiteboard, they start to change over time and they become a little bit more direct and concise. And once you get to that point where you're specifically writing down on that whiteboard every single thing that you're doing every day, you'll find that you start knocking a lot of things out and you're much more productive. So that's number 3, whiteboard, battle board. I'm telling you guys right now, it's a game changer. Get yourself a whiteboard, start writing stuff down. It'll make a huge difference in your lives. All right, number 4, we sort of talked about this one, but working out. So in my 20s, I really didn't work out a ton. I was active, I was always out doing things, but I wasn't at the gym. I didn't have a solid workout routine. Over the past year or so, I have really dedicated myself to a solid workout routine that I do every single day. I might take like one day off a week, usually on Sundays. But my workout routine is very basic. I just stick to cardio and some simple weightlifting and doing legs and upper body, abs, but cardio first every morning. And what I like to do personally is slow, steady state cardio, which is like a 14% incline on the treadmill, and I put it at about 3.1 miles per hour, and I go for 20 to 30 minutes every single morning, and it made a huge difference in my life. That combined with doing basic weight training and eating well, monumental gains in my life for my health and my clarity and my productivity. Working out has so much to do with your internal confidence and your balance and just how you go after the things you want in life. There's also a disciplinary factor to working out. You have to show up every day if you're sticking to this plan. So I think that working out is just really important because it forces me to show up every day regardless. Even if I don't want to, I still go and I do it. After about 10 minutes, once I get into it, I usually start to enjoy the workout. As long as I just get into that workout, after about 10 minutes or so, it becomes better. The endorphins start flowing, I start feeling better, and I get more excited about the actual workout. All right, so number 5, Audible books. I know we talked a little bit about that before, but I like to actually listen to books rather than read them. A lot of times when I'm reading books, it actually completely drains me. It makes me more tired. So while I listen to the book, I find it easier because I can do multiple things at once, and I digest the content a little bit better than actually reading the book. If you guys are interested in any of the Audible books that I am currently listening to, I will link them down below. These were all major, like, life-changing books for me. I think they're all solid books, and you guys would probably benefit from them in some way or another. Just like anything in life, when you are digesting content from people that you admire or people that you think you want to be like in the future, you can learn, and while you're learning, you're growing. All right, so the last one is write down your plans for the next day the night before. So I often found that a lot of my creativity is kind of popping off right before I go to bed. All these ideas start to come to me. And so what I started doing is writing all of them down. I wrote all of them down, and then I transferred those in the morning to the whiteboard. So I had them up in front of me, and I really could not ignore those ideas. But some of my best ideas have honestly come to me like right before I went to bed. I know that all of you have experienced this before, but right before you go to bed, you have these ideas, and then you're like, oh, well, I'll just remember it in the morning, and you forget. You just forget what the idea is. You don't know what it was, it just disappears. Start writing those things down. Write those ideas down before you go to bed, because when you wake up in the morning, you can actually apply them and put them into practice. All right, you guys, so those are 5 things that I learned in my 20s. Some of those things I wasn't necessarily doing in my 20s, but I started doing later on, and I wish I would have done a lot of these earlier in my years, like my 20s, early 20s, late 20s, mid 20s. Like I said before, you guys, if you know anyone else that could use this talk, this motivation, this inspiration, please share this with them. I'm obviously out here doing a lot of car content, but I do think that there's some good to be had in some of these motivational videos. As long as there's one person on the other end of this camera that is listening and taking in this advice and it's helping them, then I'm happy. And that's just my goal. That's it, really. I just want to be able to affect one of you guys. So thank you so much for watching the video. Please do subscribe, comment down below, like this video, hit that bell notification, just like that. This video's over. I'm out. Peace.